Well, hello everybody. Welcome here or welcome back, whatever the case may be. This is my coffee time. Mm. I was filming a lot yesterday and I had to make a chocolate cake for the film. So, in doing so, I made a ganache. And I had some leftover cream and a little leftover chocolate, so I ended up making a chocolate cream that I ended up putting in my coffee for today. So, it's a little bit extra special. And I hope everybody else does something today for themselves that's just a little bit extra special. Now, I wanted to share with people. Now, this is from like a year ago that I just discovered. Well, really, a few days ago, less than a week anyway. And I thought we'd just check it out, just in case you hadn't experienced it either. I just think it's a really interesting song that opens up a bit of a dialogue. It has a lot of humor to it, and it's funny because it's true. So this is Jax and her song Victoria's Secret. Okay.
I organized a flash mob outside of Victoria's Secret. The manager was not happy.
I'm not surprised.
I wish somebody would have told me when I was younger. All bodies aren't the same. Photoshop, bitty bitty models on magazine covers. Told me I was overweight. I stopped eating Royal Palmer. Get half carbs and hot butter. If I could go back and tell myself when I was younger, I'd say I am Victoria's Secret. I wouldn't believe she's in original. I am making money on girls like me. Ain't nobody issues selling skin bones with big boobs. I'm Victoria's Secret. She was made of white beauty. Victoria was made of white beauty.
This is one of my favorite parts where you just have all the real people coming in and participating in this. I think it's fantastic. You just roll on by. I find this song very empowering. And it's not even a song that was made for me. I just think it's just brilliant is what it is for me. This is it. This is where it is right here. This is the reason that this is important. So I hope everybody enjoyed that the way I did. Hey, enough. Enough, kiddo. So we'll have this magical river forest thing going while we have some coffee time. So getting back to the Victoria's Secret, I find songs like that are necessary to point out the facetiousness of certain things that exist in society. I have always been a strong supporter of women's body issues as a problem created by society. Now, I myself have struggled with drastic weight fluctuations. I've been, well, as low as about 198 pounds, even though I felt severely overweight at the time. I was trying to lose weight for my sister's wedding, so I dropped about 150 pounds in a year through very, very drastic means. And I was getting so many compliments on being thinner that it led to eating disorders, of me choosing not to put food in my body, and when I did put my food in my body, I wouldn't allow it to stay there. And it became a real big problem that nobody else really knew about, especially being as men aren't supposed to have eating disorders, especially, back in the day. It's a lot better now, thank goodness. Still a long way to go. Thank you, Scooby. Issues with eating for disorders, whether it be eating too much, which I've also experienced, where I would eat for all the wrong reasons. I didn't eat out of hunger. I ate out of boredom. I ate every time something was emotional, every time something I couldn't handle. Food was the substitute. Food was my go-to for fixing everything. And so I have fluctuated from being, the better part of 400 pounds down to being 198 pounds. And as I was saying, for my sister's wedding, I looked really good in pictures. I looked really good in a tux. But underneath all of that, I was literally skin stretched over bones, and I was very, very unhealthy. And most people didn't even know it. My parents didn't know it. But even they kept saying, when I started putting on a little bit of weight, and I was, up around 220 pounds, which for me, and at 6'3", and my frame is a perfectly reasonable weight for me to be at. Right now, I'm a little bit higher than I should be, probably by, less than 10 pounds. So it's not the end of the world. This is the time of year that we're in. Now, the problem with it is everybody, like my friends, my family, they did not understand the unhealthiness that I was going through. They just know that I looked good compared to when I was overweight. And so they kept saying, hey, remember what you were like for your sister's wedding? You should try and get back to that and everything else. What they don't realize is less than 2 months after my sister's wedding, I was hospitalized over what I had done to myself. And my parents and that, they knew that that's what I had done. And they still didn't see the problem with suggesting to me that I lose weight. So it's a struggle, People don't mean to not be supportive, but they don't really understand a lot of these issues. And I've been on both sides. I've been on the extreme overweight side of that issue of eating disorders, and I've been on the anorexic/bulimic side of eating disorders. And to this day, when I look in a mirror, I don't necessarily see myself accurately. I will see myself as being much, much bigger than I actually am, or much smaller than I actually am. It's very rare that I look in the mirror and see what's actually looking back at me. I know who I am. I know that who's looking back at me is definitely me, but it's it's very weird that when you look in the mirror, you don't see what everybody else sees. You see some other version of yourself, you know, and that could be a lot of things. For me, it's weight. I'm either heavier than I am in my mind, or I'm lighter than I am in my mind. Neither of those things are good. Neither of those things are accurate. It used to be I would look in the mirror and hate my nose because I have this big doorstop of a nose in my mind. It's like a wedge, and I know that if it was life sized as a doorstop, it would work. Uh, and then I would go around telling my friends, because, you know, like, I had no problem with the rest of my face. I just wished I could slightly modify my nose. It was never a big deal. But then my friends and other people I knew would say, well, why would you do that? It goes so well with the rest of your face. And then I started thinking, geez, I thought the problem was my nose. Maybe the problem is my entire face. You know, and so you can really let the words of other people, even innocently, innocent words of other people, slip into your head and squirm around in there like some kind of weird brain worm. And it can really do a number on you, even though you don't realize that's what's happening. So it's just little bits of food for thought that I've experienced in my life that other people might have experienced as well in their own way. Something similar, something relatable. So that's what the song Victoria's Secret does for me. It's showing an empowerment of somebody who could grow up having these external things that aren't based on anything real. They're just other people's opinions and notions and marketing schemes that can really, really affect your self-confidence, your sense of self, how you see yourself, in relation to the rest of the world. And when it's not based on something real, the thoughts that are now in your head because of it aren't based on something real. The difference is it feels very real. It feels true. And once it's in there, once it's in your head, it's really, really hard to change that again. So that's the discussion that I would like to see come out of songs like Victoria's Secret. And it's like, thank you, Jax. Jax, you did an amazing job with that song. And I hope the entire world gets to celebrate in it, because it is so female empowering. And if you're like me and you like to see the women in your life and in the rest of the world empowered so that they are the strong, independent, wonderful, creative human beings that they were designed to be, then I think that you should support this kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess it's just support this kind of enlightenment in the world. People that try to point out the hypocrisies, especially when it comes to things that are motivated by money. People don't care, like when you're a business person and you're high up there in making tons of money, a lot of times it's very easy to disconnect emotionally from the people that you are selling your products to, your products or your ideas or whatever the case may be. And I personally think people in that position of power have a responsibility to the well-being emotionally and physically of the people that they are trying to get the money from. It's just, to me, that just makes sense. You should try and take care of your client base. If something happens to them, there goes your source of income. It just doesn't make sense to me that you would do things that would allow your own client base to be put in harm's way. It just seems counterproductive. But that's me. There's my 2 cents. There's the honest tea over coffee. And until the next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.